The shot shouldn't have been possible, not by any species in the Orion League, not with the distance, the wind drift, the microgravity turbulence, and definitely not with the target moving at 800 kilometers per second. Yet the entire training dome held its breath as a 16-year-old human girl casually chewed gum, tilted her head, and said, "Yeah, I can hit that." Even the instructor, a four-armed Zelvori veteran who had once fired plasma cannons during asteroid belt skirmishes, blinked all four eyelids at once. "Human cadet Mira Reyes," he rumbled, his voice vibrating the metal panels. "The simulation is designed to demonstrate the limits of accuracy. It is not meant to be defeated." Mira shrugged. "Then why put a target there?" Snickers rippled through the assembled alien cadets, Karnak brutes, Avrian floaters, Litari slicers, each genetically engineered for precision in their own way. Humans were the outliers, average in everything, specialized in nothing. Except attitude. And right now, Mira had enough of that for the entire dome. A Karnak cadet leaned toward his squadmates, mandibles clacking with amusement. "Humans exaggerate. It is their main biological function." "Careful," another snorted. "Their secondary function is embarrassing themselves." Their laughter echoed, sharp, metallic, buzzing. Mira didn't flinch. She tapped her wristband to sync with the training system. A thin holographic rifle, transparent blue, adjustable grip, materialized in her hands. It wasn't even a real weapon. The dome tracked musculature, trajectory, focus, and alignment, then generated the simulated shot. "Ready when you are," she said as if taking on a math quiz. The Zelvori instructor gave a long, tired sigh. "Very well. Simulation Alpha 9 Extreme. A moving target with fourth-order evasive patterns. No stabilizers. No auto-assist. No visual trajectory guides." His upper left hand hovered above the control pad. "Begin." The target, a tiny silver speck the size of a marble, shot across the far end of the dome, zigzagging in ways that violated dignity if not physics. Every alien eye locked onto Mira. She didn't immediately fire. Instead, she frowned, chewing slowly, eyes half closed as if listening to a distant rhythm. She lifted the holographic rifle, adjusted her stance a fraction of an inch, then exhaled. Pip. A single simulated bolt snapped through the air, and the dome exploded into red text. Direct hit. For a split second, there was silence. Actual, physical silence. You could hear the hum of the dome's atmospheric regulators. Then, the aliens erupted. "No! Impossible! She cheated. Humans always cheat. The system glitched." The Zelvori instructor loomed over her. "Explain." Mira blinked. "Explain what? How? Did you do that?" She glanced at the aliens glaring at her across the dome. "Same way anybody would do it." "There is no anybody," the instructor growled. "The shot required predictive modeling beyond your species' neuroprocessing. The target was designed so no humanoid could align all variables fast enough." Mira scratched her cheek. "Well, I didn't try to calculate it." The instructor stared at her as if she'd admitted to committing a cosmic crime. "You didn't calculate?" "Nope." A Litari cadet spat a sizzling insult. "Humans don't think. This is known." Mira turned to him. "I didn't calculate. I just felt where it was going." Aliens burst into cackles. Felt? Felt? Humans said absurd things sometimes, but this one was comet collision level absurd. But the instructor wasn't laughing. If anything, his eyes narrowed. "Intuitive cognitive mapping," he muttered. "Primitive but effective." "Primitive?" An Avrian cadet squealed. "Yes," the instructor said. "Humans are a low-optimization species, yet they consistently produce unpredictable results. This is why they are difficult to categorize." The Litari cadet scoffed. "Unpredictability is not a skill." "That depends," the instructor replied, "on what they do next." The dome reloaded the target. This time it increased the speed. and split it into two. The instructor inclined his head. Cadet Reyes. Again. Mira raised an eyebrow. Seriously? You initiated this demonstration, he said. Aliens leaned forward, mandibles clicking, frills rising, bioluminescent scales brightening. The expectation was universal and unanimous. She would fail spectacularly. Mira rolled her shoulders. The floating rifle reformed in her grip. She squinted, but not at the targets, at the air currents swirling off the dome walls, the faint vibrating glow from the trajectory generators, the way the targets bobbed like they were part of a bigger pattern. The twins streaked off in opposite directions. She inhaled. Pip. Pip. Double direct hit. Panic. Shock. Outrage. The whole dome erupted again. She is an anomaly. She is malfunctioning. She is human. The instructor's voice boomed over the uproar. Silence! Everyone froze. Except Mira. She blew a bubble with her gum, popped it, and grinned. What's next? That grin did something catastrophic to the room. The aliens weren't just offended now, they were destabilized. Humans weren't supposed to be good at this. They were supposed to be impulsive mammals with laughable hand-eye coordination and an evolutionary history full of bad decisions and near extinctions. Yet here was one, calm, relaxed, chewing gum, an outperforming species engineered over millennia for precision. The Zelvori instructor studied her as though she were a puzzle piece from an entirely different box. Cadet Reyes, he said slowly, report to my office after training. There are assessments to run. The aliens exchanged whispers. Assessments meant something was wrong, or dangerous. Mira nodded, still smiling. Sure thing. Only then did a ripple of unease skitter across the dome. Because Mira Reyes didn't look worried. She looked excited. And that meant whatever she could do, it wasn't an accident. The moment Mira stepped into the instructor's office, she realized something was off. 3 additional officers were already waiting, all from different species, all staring at her like she was a biological anomaly that sprouted legs and walked in on its own. The air felt thick, not hostile, but tense in the way people got tense when they didn't understand what they were dealing with. The Zelvori instructor gestured toward a metal chair. Sit. Mira sat. A tall Avrian officer with shimmering wings leaned forward first. Human cadet, we have reviewed your simulation logs. Your accuracy defies statistical models. A Karnak commander rumbled. Your predictiveness exceeds our drone guidance AI. A Litari scientist tapped her claws on a datapad. Your reflex curve is beyond documented human averages. Mira blinked at them. Thanks? They did not appear to appreciate the attempt at humor. The Zelvori instructor clasped his forehands. We are escalating your training protocol. Mira raised a brow. Escalating how? Live ammunition, he said simply. That got her attention. Wait. Like real shots? Real consequences? Yes. The Litari scientist curled her tail. Your results require validation under non-simulated conditions. Mira paused, then nodded slowly. Okay, but you know this is still the first week of cadet orientation, right? The Karnak commander snorted. Your species allegedly thrives under pressure. Mira's jaw clenched. We don't thrive under pressure. We just handle it. Then handle this, the Avrian said, sliding a holographic briefing her way. The room dimmed as a training range appeared above the projector, floating platforms, unstable gravity wells, shifting wind tunnels, and mechanized targets firing back. Mira exhaled. So, advanced course? The Zelvori instructor shook his huge head. Elite course. Her stomach flipped, but so did something else. Something warm. Something reckless. Something human. When do we start? She asked. No, the instructor said. Minutes later, she found herself in a cavernous training arena deep under the academy. Metallic winds roared around her, generated by massive turbines. Floating platforms drifted like broken puzzle pieces. Automated turrets glowed faint red, tracking anything that moved. Half the alien cadets gathered above on viewing decks, eager for a show, preferably one where the human face planted off a platform or got blasted into a wall. Their frills and plates gleamed with anticipation. Mira stretched her arms, rolling her shoulders. "Okay, Reyes," she muttered to herself. "Don't die. Don't look stupid. And maybe don't break anything expensive." The calm humor didn't match the pounding of her heart. A tone rang through the arena. "Cadet Mira Reyes, test begins in 5 seconds. Platforms shifted. Gravity pockets pulsed. Turrets powered up. The voice counted down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start. The first shot came so fast most cadets didn't see it, only heard the crack of plasma slicing air. Mira didn't dodge because she saw it, she dodged because something inside her tugged, like an instinct pulling her body before her brain caught up. She dove, rolled, and came up on one knee as a platform drifted under her feet. 3 more turrets spun toward her. Mira snapped her holographic rifle into aim and fired 3 shots in rapid succession. Pip pip pip. Direct hits. Turrets disabled. The alien cadets leaned forward. "That shouldn't be possible." She reacted before the turrets fully locked. "That's predictive movement." But the test wasn't slowing down. Gravity wells flared, twisting the air. Mira sprinted across a platform and leapt, and immediately found herself dropping sideways as gravity shifted 90 degrees. She hit the ground rolling, laughing breathlessly. "This place is insane!" A new cluster of targets shot through the air, dozens of them, and Mira felt her pulse spike. She fired again, spun to avoid a plasma burst, nearly fell off a platform, saved herself with a hand grab, swung back up, and fired 2 more shots. "Was that human improvisation?" an Avrian muttered. "Or madness?" a Karnak guessed. "Same thing," the Litari scientist drawled. Mira didn't hear them. She was focused entirely on the tiny signals her body kept picking up: air pressure shifts, vibrations in the platforms, the faint hum of charging weapons. She didn't consciously think about trajectory or speed. It was like solving a puzzle with her muscles instead of her mind. But the arena wasn't done. A shadow passed overhead. A heavy drone, armored, designed for senior-level cadet trials, descended with a thundering roar. Its cannons rotated toward her. Mira's breath caught. "Oh, come on!" The drone opened fire. This time she wasn't fast enough to avoid the first blast. It clipped the ground beside her, sending her flying. She slammed onto a platform, skidding dangerously close to the edge. Aliens above gasped. "She's down! She can't recover!" Mira forced herself up, ribs aching. She wiped blood from her lip. "Okay," she whispered. "Plan B." She didn't have a plan B. She made one up. She sprinted across platforms, letting her strange sense tug her sideways just before a shot fired, ducking a half-second early, leaping half a second late, never perfectly timed, always just a little off in a way the drone didn't predict. Humans didn't move like machines, and that made them hard to track. She dove behind a column as the drone roared overhead, firing blindly. Sparks rained down. Mira inhaled deeply. Feel it! She closed her eyes. There, the rhythm. The pattern of the drone's movement. The rotation of its cannons. The shift in its thrusters. She opened her eyes and sprinted. The drone tracked her. Mira leapt from one platform to another, pivoted midair, fired a single shot. Pip! The drone's left thruster died. It lurched violently, slammed into a platform, and crashed in a burst of sparks. Silence hung over the arena. Then, that was not random! She tracked that. She predicted a drone. Above, the instructors exchanged looks of genuine alarm. And Mira, panting, bruised, exhilarated, looked up at all of them and grinned. Still think humans can't aim? The alarm began screaming before Mira even left the arena, an ear-splitting metallic howl that jolted every cadet, instructor, and soldier in the academy. The walls flashed red. The platforms froze mid-shift. Even the fallen drone flickered out as the entire training system shut down. Mira straightened, shoulders tense. Did I break something? The Zelvori instructor scanned his wrist panel, eyes narrowing. No, he said slowly. Something else did. The loudspeakers crackled with the Academy commander's voice, stern, heavy, unmistakably serious. All cadets report to Observation Hall. This is not a drill. Aliens exchanged frantic looks. Not a drill meant one thing, a real threat. Mira jogged with the rest toward the hall, but she couldn't shake the knot forming in her stomach. Was this because of her? Had she somehow triggered a catastrophic system error with her weird instincts, or whatever they thought she had? As they entered the massive observation chamber, a giant tactical display flickered to life in the center. Dozens of alien cadets murmured, claws clicking, wings fluttering, mandibles grinding. The instructors stood near the front, tense. The commander, a towering crystalline Valion, stepped forward. A hostile ship has entered our defense perimeter, he announced. Unidentified. Unregistered. Unresponsive. Whispers exploded. A pirate vessel? No, pirates flee from Academy space. A rogue warship then? Impossible. Who'd be foolish enough to attack? The display blared a new alert. Incoming fire detected. A shockwave rippled through the hall as the Academy's outer shields absorbed a massive strike. The lights flickered. A few cadets stumbled. Someone shrieked. The commander raised his voice. The unidentified vessel is using long-range kinetic projectiles. Impact radius suggests exceptional precision. That word hit the room like a thrown blade. Precision. Mira swallowed hard. The screen zoomed in on the enemy ship, sleek, jagged, bristling with weapons. Its signature was unknown, its design predator-like. And something about the way it moved made the hair on Mira's arms rise. It wasn't moving randomly, or aggressively. It was moving exactly, as if every angle had been calculated down to millimeters. A Litari instructor hissed. That ship is targeting critical support systems. It knows our blind spots. The Zelvori instructor muttered. This is impossibly accurate for automated weaponry. The hall vibrated again as another impact struck. Mira stepped closer to the display. It's not automated, she said aloud before she realized she had spoken. Hundreds of alien eyes snapped toward her. The commander's crystalline head swiveled. Explain, human cadet. Mira pointed at the path of the last projectile. Look at that curve, it adjusted mid-flight. That means the shooter watched us adjust our shields and compensated on the next shot. That's a person controlling it. The Avrian officer narrowed his iridescent eyes. A person with reaction speed beyond most known species. Mira felt dread coil in her chest. Or someone with training that matches this academy. The aliens murmured uneasily. Karnak cadets bristled. A traitor? An infiltrator? Someone who stole our technology? Mira shook her head slowly. No. This movement feels familiar. She regretted saying it immediately. Dozens of aliens recoiled. Familiar? The human is connected to this? She brought danger to the academy. The Zelvori instructor raised two hands. Silence. The human cadet is not responsible for an unknown warship. The commander studied Mira with glass-like eyes. What do you mean familiar? Mira hesitated. The way it predicts shield movements, that's how I predict targets. Not the same, but similar logic. A deep silence settled. The Litari scientist spoke first. Commander, that suggests something terrifying. The commander's glow dimmed. Yes. That someone out there shares the human's instinctive predictive trait, magnified. Suddenly, the display emitted another alert. Projectile lock, Academy main reactor. Gasps erupted. The main reactor powered the entire city-sized training complex. If it was hit, there would be no academy. Shields repositioned. The commander barked. Countermeasures activate. The system failed. The enemy was faster. Mira's mind raced, not with fear, but with the same strange instinct that guided her shots. She felt something inside her align, something cold and sharp and disturbingly clear. "Sir," she said, voice steady despite her heart hammering, "I can predict the next shot." The room erupted. "That is absurd. She is a trainee. She is a human." Mira stepped forward, eyes locked on the display. "You don't have to trust me. Just give me access to a manual shield control panel." The aliens protested even louder. "Humans cannot operate reactive shields. Her neural speed is inadequate. She will doom us." The commander raised a hand for silence. "Cadet Reyes, are you certain?" Mira inhaled, exhaled. "I'm not certain of anything. But I can feel where he'll fire next." "He?" a cadet whispered. Mira nodded. "Yeah. It's not random. It's someone who thinks like me." The room froze at the implication. Another impact rattled the academy, more violent than the last. The commander made his decision. "Give the human cadet the panel." Aliens shouted in disbelief, but soldiers rushed Mira to the control station. She placed her hands on the shimmering interface, feeling its energy pulse up her arms. The entire Academy's shield network appeared before her, a spider web of blue lines, shifting, recalculating, responding. She stared at the enemy ship on the display. Something inside her clicked. She felt the incoming shot before the sensors registered it. She slammed her palm onto the panel, dragging the shield vector hard left. The Academy trembled. The projectile grazed the shield at a harmless angle instead of punching through the reactor. The hall gasped. The commander's voice trembled. She moved faster than the sensors. Aliens stared at Mira like she wasn't just a cadet anymore, she was a weapon. And outside, the warship adjusted its course again, as if the mysterious shooter had noticed her interference, and was eager to challenge her directly. Mira squared her jaw. "Okay," she whispered. "Let's see who you are." The enemy warship stopped firing. Not because it had retreated, not because it had lost interest, but because it was repositioning, rising slowly, deliberately, into a higher orbit where it would gain a perfect angle on the Academy's now exposed upper defense grid. The entire observation hall dimmed as the tactical display zoomed in on the hostile vessel, its hull gleaming like a metallic predator eyeing weakened prey. Mira kept her hands firmly on the shield control interface. Her pulse hammered, but she didn't waver. She could feel it again, that strange, invisible thread linking her instincts to the shooter's movements, like they were two musicians improvising on the same impossible rhythm. The hall whispered nervously behind her. "She cannot keep up. The alien gunner is too fast. If the shields fail..." The commander snapped. "Let the human work." Mira didn't look back. She closed her eyes, trying to filter out the overwhelm, the alarms, the trembling floor, the hissed insults, the gasps of doubt. None of it mattered. What mattered was the faint tremor in her chest, a sensation that felt like standing on a cliff during a storm, feeling the air shift a second before lightning struck. She focused on it, letting the instinct sharpen. Then she felt it. A pulse. A tug. Like someone whispering, "Here." Her eyes snapped open. "Incoming. High arc. Right side. 30 degrees. The commander didn't hesitate. "Move it!" Mira swiped the shield vector upward, redirecting energy. Not a second later, the projectile hit, hard, but the shield shimmered, flexed, and held. Screams turned into stunned silence. "That's impossible," she predicted before the sensors again. The hostile ship adjusted. So did Mira. Every shift, every pulse from the enemy felt clearer now, like the shooter was communicating through motion. Not language, instinct. "Why does it feel like he knows I'm here?" she muttered under her breath. "Because he does," the Zelvori instructor rumbled beside her. "You have forced him to reveal himself." Another pulse. Another adjustment. Mira moved the shields just in time to deflect a shot meant to cripple the Academy's stabilization ring. She gritted her teeth. Whoever was firing wasn't trying to destroy the Academy outright. They were slowly disabling it, piece by piece, like they were testing how she reacted. Testing her. A chilling realization formed in her mind. "He's not here to attack the Academy," she whispered. "He's here for me." Gasps rippled through the hall. The Litari scientist hissed. "Why would a hostile species target a human cadet?" Mira swallowed hard. "Because I think he's human." Silence. Pure, stunned silence. "Impossible," someone whispered. "No human ship has that technology. No human sniper has this precision." But Mira didn't back down. "His movements, the rhythm, it's not alien. It's instinctive. It's like mine. Just more." The commander stared at her. "If you are correct, Cadet Reyes, then we face a human with capabilities far beyond your own." Mira exhaled shakily. "Then I have to beat him." The hall went deathly still. Beat him? A lone cadet, against an unknown marksman controlling a warship? But the commander's crystalline eyes hardened. "What do you require?" Mira looked him dead on. "A weapon." The hall erupted in alarm. "A weapon? She is untrained. You cannot be serious." But Mira was serious. Dead serious. "I'm not going to fire at him," Mira clarified. "I need a long-range simulation rifle, one with direct link to the Academy's comms array. I can't match a warship's guns, but I might be able to send a signal he can't ignore." The Zelvori instructor understood first. "A predictive return shot." Mira nodded. "If he's tracking me through instinct, then he'll feel where I aim. And he'll know I've caught him." The commander hesitated only a moment before signaling a technician. A sleek hollow rifle materialized on a side platform, glowing blue with Academy power. Mira grabbed it and stepped onto the central calibration pad. The enemy ship shimmered in the distance. She exhaled. Everything else fell away. The hall. The alarms. The fear. She felt only that invisible thread, the one that tied her instincts to the unknown shooters. She raised the rifle. Not to fire, but to aim. The tug came instantly. A shock of recognition shot through her. Somewhere out there, the shooter felt her presence as clearly as she felt his. "Found you," she whispered. She adjusted the rifle, aligning with the exact point where she sensed him. No calculations. No logic. Pure instinct. The rifle's targeting link lit up. She pulled the trigger. Not to hit him. Her shot wasn't a weapon. It was a message. The simulated bolt streaked through the sky, tracing a path impossible to predict, unless you thought like she did. The enemy's ship shuddered. For the first time, it hesitated. Then, it powered down its weapons. A slow retreat. No explosion. No self-destruct. No confrontation. The ship simply turned and left. Aliens stared in disbelief. She drove off a warship. With a simulator shot. "Who was that pilot?" The commander approached her. "Cadet Reyes, what did you say with that shot?" Mira lowered the rifle, breath uneven. "I told him I could see him." The commander's glow dimmed with understanding. "And he realized you were not prey." Mira nodded. The Zelvori instructor stepped forward. "Human cadet, you have demonstrated skill beyond any recorded human parameters. You have saved the Academy." Mira smiled weakly. "Guess humans aren't as bad at aiming as they thought." The aliens didn't laugh this time. They nodded. Respectfully. As the emergency lights dimmed and the Academy returned to calm, Mira found herself staring at the stars through a large viewport. Somewhere out there was another human, one who shared her strange gift, one who had challenged her not with malice, but recognition. She wondered if they would meet again. She wondered what she would say. "For now," she whispered to the empty sky. "Next time, I'll hit the real shot." And for the first time, every species in the Academy believed her.